delighted and very proud of the boys for coming out and executing on the night and being able to get the 3 points and give us a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel as we know that we're coming to the culmination of the season and up against another very challenging opponent on Wednesday against Providence.
Guess you don't really need to motivate your guys too much for this next match, right? Given what's at stake.
Absolutely. I mentioned it last week. I think we did a good job at putting ourselves in a bit of a tough situation. Proud of the guys for coming out and responding against DePaul on the weekend. And I don't foresee them coming out without any energy against the Friars on Wednesday.
Providence was the preseason favorite. You know that environment is electric, especially when they're playing an important match. What are the ingredients to success for you guys to not be overwhelmed by the atmosphere that's going to be against them?
Yeah, no, I think you're correct. You're correct in that it's a tough environment to play at. It's electrifying. There's a lot of people that are right on top of you, which will create for quite a bit of energy. So I would expect Providence to come out with a lot of energy, and we just have to make sure that we're dialed in and focused for that first quarter of an hour, 15 minutes, making sure that we don't give them anything easy as we progress into the match. But yeah, at the end of the day, one of the things that we always speak about when we're on the road is if there's a good environment, it's because they came out because they want to watch you as well. So embrace that. If it was supposed to be a boring game, they wouldn't come out to watch you play. So embrace that and flip it into your own energy and have fun on the night.
I imagine you'd love to have the opportunity to play another home match in Morrison this season. Is there any discussion about that and the chance to get back here for the tournament?
No, no, absolutely. I mean, again, I've always said this. We have one of the best stadiums in the country, one of the best fan bases in the country. So anytime you have an opportunity to come back to Morrison, you got to take it, right? And so we understand that we increase our chances of coming back to Morrison with a victory, and so that's our plan.
I guess when you look at the way Jackson and Duncan are playing right now, a lot what they talked about the other night was kind of sustaining that rhythm, that momentum, carrying it over. Is that starting training this week, or does that flip just get switched when the match starts?
Yeah, no, it definitely starts early in the week. That's it's a tone that we set, and it's our job as a staff to make sure that these guys continue to stay hungry, and so we're constantly shelling out reminders as to what it is it takes, and we definitely don't ever expect our guys to just flip it on when it's game time. It starts in your dorm, making sure you get the proper rest. It starts in your dorm, making sure you're getting the proper nutrition, and so it's a week-long process to prepare for a match. It definitely, if you're thinking you're preparing once you step foot on the bus on the way to the stadium on Wednesday, then you're mistaken.
It seems like this team this year, especially when you just look at the performances, that they have always responded. Even though I imagine there's disappointment that you guys create some adversity for yourselves, or you get a bit of bad luck and it doesn't turn out your way. But why do you think the team seems to have some grit when their back is kind of pushed against the wall?
Yeah, I think maybe we thrive on pressure a little bit. Unfortunately for our group, I feel that this season more than others, we've hurt ourselves with individual mistakes rather than actually getting outplayed. I think there's probably one or two exceptions where I thought our opponent outplayed us for certain parts of the match. But I think it comes down to making sure that we're completely focused. And if there is an individual lapse, that we have a teammate picking up the slack for that guy that might have a little bit of a shortfall in any given play. But I think as long as we stay collectively focused and tuned in, we should be able to carry forward the momentum that we brought on Saturday.
How much of what you guys did defensively on Saturday? Did you guys play Saturday? I don't remember anymore. Is translatable versus how much of it is just kind of like a snapshot in that match and styles matching up against each other? Because it seemed like didn't feel like DePaul was threatening for any of the 90 minutes.
I thought our fellas did a good job at keeping the ball moving and keeping possession of the ball in good parts of the field. When you're able to move your opponent as much as we did on the evening, I think it causes them a lot of energy defensively. And that just means that they're going to have a little bit less energy if they do get on the ball, right? So I think it helped us in that regard. And that's going to be part of our plan going into Providence is, I think the best defense that you can have is keeping possession of the ball, right? And so, we're going to try and do the same thing to Providence.
Where's that philosophy born out of that you try to marry your possession and your pace and try to make it impact the other areas of the game? Like, normally I guess you would think in terms of just, basically it's like offense versus defense, but it seems like you're trying to mesh your offensive philosophy and have it impact how dangerous the opponent can be offensively.
Yeah, I was a forward my entire life. I've always enjoyed going forward, and I've always thought that it's boring if you're playing a possession game in your own half and not much to it. I prefer going forward, and so if that means that that's going to help your defensive schematics, then I'm okay with it. And I enjoy playing the game in the right way, and I want to see fireworks. I want to see goals. I want to see opportunities, and so we're going to do everything we can to stay in our opponent's half.
Stylistically, what does Providence do really well? What do they hang their hat on that are going to be the first things you write down when you think about the objectives for this match?
Yeah, Providence traditionally has always been a very talented group with some players with nose to goal. They're very usually quick on the combination and in transition. But above all, I've always thought that Providence is a very tough mentally team, mentally pretty tough. And so we understand that they won't go away, and we're going to have to be on our best moment to be able to go there and get out the 3 points.
Johnny, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Twix, all the way. Twix, love it, all the way.
Anything further for John?
Awesome. Thanks for coming out.